Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Oh, what I didn't start up was a window to look at this. And actually, this is... I didn't merge master on this, so it's still not the right boundary. But that's not really relevant for what we're doing right now. Okay. I guess we actually don't need that. I wonder if that's actually... Because I was noticing a problem with... Well, no, I think that was just because at the end of time when I was trying to select lineages. Anyway, so we've got... The density seems fine. For selecting things on this layer, right. Yeah, so we've got this as an overlay. But we're not doing several steps in terms of detecting the right objects. So we need second place check. Jeez. Which affects the bleed over. Jackpot chance, which might make the method we're doing right now not work. And then off biome moving objects, which only makes sense once we've actually got some of the second place biome and stuff. So it's all like little details that we have to work out. And the issue with second place, so I essentially probably just take them in order. With second place, we need a way to get the second place information out of the biome function. Okay, let's get cached. Where was... Oh, no, but it does have the second place, first place, which comes down to... That's the hash position. What's a biome cache record? Well, that can return not found. Oh, this is compute, okay. I guess I was looking at this. So what we're not doing right now is this whole first place, second place thing. So we're just going loop over the biomes, pick a different seed for each. So I could conceivably closure a function that has all of like the roughness scale seed parameters built in. I don't know if that's going to be more efficient because it does mean going up context. I'd have to read up on my JavaScript performance stuff, but it would be kind of a convenient way to do it. Anyway. So we were keeping maxval and picked biome. We need to keep I need a way to get out. So either I return a biome record of some sort that has first place, second place, etc. Or I pass an additional object in here, similar to how he's passing it, and set those fields Okay, so this one is always calculating it and then only returning it if it's there. Compute map biome index. We'd have to. So where we only want one, we would have to dereference the resulting object. If we do want the seconds, we'd have to create an object to pass it, set the fields if it's there. I almost just want to produce all the biomes and all the chances. But I think that's but I think sorting that array will actually be worse than just doing the max check every time. So we've got two use cases. This we already know is a very slow process. So I'm concerned that creating and dereferencing a new object will only make that slower, although it's hardly the worst part of it. Then again, if I have to do a does the export object exist check and then set the fields, that I could almost see that adding just as much overhead. Well, an if test probably isn't as bad as object allocation. So we use that, This is going through biomes anyway. When do I need the biome index? All right, we're going to need this internally. So he's got... That's all the cache stuff. Second place and second place gap. Okay, a new first place. Old first moves into second. Remember our first. And we also have a better second place. I'm wondering if you could save some math by remembering the value of the primary biome and then only doing the subtraction at the end. It's probably not very significant, though. And I think object allocation would be the worst thing. Which means we have to do out parameter. Oh, he called this second place. Oop. Second place. Man, how did I do this every time? I probably auto-completed it afterwards. So that way we'll only allocate the extra object for second place stuff if we actually care about it. So that would be this pawn. Oh, right, because he used to be passing these in. So this would be... So that's the minimum we need. Picked biome. Get base map. That was below that. So we just assume we got something here. We don't really check the value. All right. No, wrong one. This is restore map chance. Get base map. So this is that use of it. So second place gap. Pick two biomes. This is the last checked biome stuff. That's for some of the looking around, which that's actually tweaked, is where that matters. Second place reduction. Wait, do we use this in any ways but second place reduction? No, but this also isn't looped. So for any given cell, we're only going to do this once. Only this should be this is a factor about if gap is 0, 50% of the time. If gap is, this should never happen. Make second place less likely. Oh, this is an entirely random roll. I always just assumed it was based on the actual values. So we got even more stuff to worry about. We have a second place reduction is 10 and a second place seed so the larger gap, the less likely it is. And he has an absolute cutoff for that. Yeah, I could imagine other ways of doing this, but I can't emulate the exact code doing that. Oh, technically the 0.5. So technically this is a offset and a scale. All right, jackpot, second place. Second place chance. Well, this is actually like an anti-chance, though. This is, I guess this is actually a first place chance, huh? Times second place dot gap. If get xy random last check biome is not changed. First place biome, but object placement shows the second place biome. Right, last check biome for this location. All right, so then we translate that. Okay, so that natural map IDs thing is based in the biome index system. But that is going to potentially start doing the bleeding. Now, the only place you can really potentially see this is near jungles. So jungles don't normally have green objects. I think I was seeing some purple bleed over before, but this doesn't seem correct yet. Because those don't seem like jungle objects. Those are still trees. That's potentially a jungle object. Well, I don't know what. Oh, small objects behind trees get blocked. These are not correct, though. Unfortunately, you can't really be checking things until all of the pieces are in place. So right now, I can't really tell if rubber trees are purple or red. I mean, I'd guess that they'd be purple because that's when the jungle stuff came in. So like this one is something else. I don't know if the map chances that I'm getting from one tech are working correctly. There's also the jackpot thing. Caps lock. Oh, and we're not dealing with grid objects yet. Yeah. I mean, until I can actually attach some art to these, it's going to be really hard to tell what is correct. I guess maybe I could do something to... Well, I need to have a much zoomed in version of it. Or I could print like a ID number and then go check that. So unfortunately at this scale, actually printing something here could be painful. And as long as I don't zoom out, it might not be too terrible. Console.log. Of course, I think the problem is my zoom might default to something larger. Momentarily, yeah. Okay, so it's still rendering. We're definitely doing both cases. Seems like it's more first places than second places, which makes sense. Nope, still rendering. I mean, it seems like it will eventually catch up with that. Unfortunately, well, I guess the way I could check this stage by stage would be to get the base code to output some intermediate options or stuff. Oh, I guess I should double check that this thing still works. Okay. Ooh, but that forced a re-render of object layer? Oh, so it was responding to that, but it's not responding to this. There we go. So would I have actually seen any errors there? Okay. Oh, I guess what I could do. Where is second place offset, for instance? Hmm. So this is like increasing the first place chance, but it's based on the second place gap. So if we do like 1 and 0, we would expect to see a lot more bleed over. Okay, well here's the jungle zone. I see a lot of purple stuff. Well, this just has a very low density of objects in general. Oh yeah, there's a lot more bleed over into this section from the other things surrounding it. You see purples where there is kind of jungle nearby. We just don't know if it's exactly right. Oh, there's apparently a close second on jungle in here. Oh no, wait, that is... The gap is how far it is. Yeah. Yeah. So a bigger gap means it's more likely to do primary. All right, get base map. Jackpot chance. Second place, something present here. Special object in this region. These are the num objects that can spawn here. We have a brand new seed. And more fractal parameters. Oh geez, this is like... I guess we've called this offset elsewhere. $7.93. Jackpot seeds. Scale is 123. Jackpot. Roughness is 0.3. Jackpot. I'm almost wondering if I should have like fractal objects for this implementation. Jackpot. Yeah, so it's one of those things where we have, in this case, the seed. So we've got a offset of 0.15 and a jackpot scale of 0.016666. Yeah, so not everything uses every parameter. Some of these have fixed seeds. All right, so jackpot chance. So direct translation would look like this. Did I have a number, negative number dot max value? Oh, well, this is just a loop. Now, I often like to do for each. Loop through an array. Don't use var. Ah, so that must have been updated. Almost 4 years old. Less efficient. Maybe it's because of the backwards iteration? June 26. Fastest loop is a for loop. Okay, we gotta watch our callbacks. This might not be the most performance intensive portion, so we don't need to worry about length caching yet. But we already have num objects from emulating that. We do our setting the seed based on I. Wait, so he's always picking a special object? So of the objects, one is always the most likely to get a boost? This is, well, yeah, this is where I probably would have just used the return value from this and interpolated it over the object indexes. Because that would be a whole lot less fractal evaluations. Oh, no. Oh, I got these backwards. I probably need to reevaluate, like, all of my set seeds. Biome, seed, offset. Okay, so that's correct. Seed, offset, biome seed, jackpot seed. Okay, so those are the only times we seem to have done that particular form of things. But these are backwards. Biome. All right, so scale is 793, and offset is 123. And we haven't really get base map. Use that yet. Options dot jackpot seed offset plus I times options dot jackpot seed scale. Number of objects. Now, that is potentially doable outside this loop. Jackpot roughness. Jackpot offset plus num objects times options dot jackpot scale. So we're always going to have a special object. Old special chance. Oh, right, because we have to restore this. So how did I pick? So we had captured the objects list for our things. And it's just times 10. Now this changes our total. So this is where I think I'm not going to be able to use the preprocessed chances. Wait. New special chance equals new special chance? Oh no, that's pointer to reference. Do we ever reuse this? And then he offset the total chance weight, which is the thing that I can't do here. So we can make something sort of like it, but we can't actually emulate it without the raw numbers. Old total chance weight, which is a thing we don't have because I think this is all normalized to 1. And with the fixed jackpot chance, I'll just go through there. Store chance of special object. Objects I dot spawn chance equals old special chance. And we have a total weight, which we don't have. And we've got a moving object check. So that will create a jackpot, but it's not correct. Yep. Objects I. Objects equals biome objects. It has a length. Oh. And did I copy you down here? Yes, I did. Okay, so those are all relatively early objects. This can't be correct. I probably need to like fuzz. I mean, I thought it would be nice to have things together because, like, for instance, the jungle. Actually, the jungle seems much more jungly now. To fuzz these a bit so that I can distinguish single objects in a biome better. I think the way Jason originally did it by just doing the objects in the space, or of the spawnable objects, made it a little bit, you get a little bit better color spread, so you could kind of read a biome from a distance. But most things were kind of defined up front. So that doesn't give you a good color spread to distinguish things. So I might need to fuzz the colors just so I can kind of distinguish different kinds of trees and stuff. But yeah, I'm not yet seeing anything that looks like object consistency. Of course, my spawn chances are kind of messed up right now. Well, yeah, there's fractals for this spawn chance. I mean, I could see, where's my fractal layer? Fractal seed, biome offset, biome scale. Wait, fractal layer. Yeah. Oh, that's total number of biomes. Okay. So actually, just fractal layer was a biome fractal layer specifically. If I just wanted, and I actually have a better way to get number of biomes now. If I just wanted to view a fractal, wait. Okay, yeah, that's the scale, that's the roughness. Well, sometimes things are they're going through a certain function. I'm just kind of interested in what the scale of that is. So this one, it depends on number of objects. So that's 3. Our seed is, well, it depends on the object. 1, 2, 3 is the base for object 0. Biome scale. I mean, 7 might not be too bad for certain things. Okay, so this is what one item's scale looks like, and you really have to see that against multiple things to see the picking up. That's kind of the scale of how the jackpots work. All right, so we have a very rough incomplete jackpots. I need to address source data, though. Because that puts a lot of stuff I don't necessarily need. Spawn chance, biome. Yep. It's pre-calculating the total map chance, which is objects, object map chance. Yeah, so that's the sum total chance. So it's pre-calculating the chance, but that doesn't work well with the way he's doing jackpots. Well, no, actually. I have a way to sort of hack this, because that just makes total map chance 1. So we could still do what we did before. Now, I think the other one may have pre-cached the total chance. Yeah, there was a cached total chance weight, which I guess I could do as well. Wait, how do I not assign biomes? Oh, I'm using biomes equals. Yeah, biomes ID equals. So for that, we can get a sum. And a times 10 should work pretty similarly. Now this is going to touch on a lot finer tuned or higher precision numbers, so I still not sure it's going to be quite right. But we can do biomes. Biome equals biome dot objects, and reduce is actually a nice little thing here. No, actually, this is going to be a map, isn't it? Object data map chance. I haven't loaded it full of objects here. I might still be able to get map chance, but the biomes are only giving me a spawn chance, and that's what we've got so far. Now we expect this to be essentially one for everything. Yeah, a little bit of error crept in there. That's what I was concerned about. I mean, some of that could be in the actual edition itself. All right. Get map, get base map. Second place check, jackpot chance. So we have the new chance and the old chance. We have objects was grabbed from the biome. Oh, hey, what if we grabbed a copy for this as well? And then we wouldn't have to worry about restoring it. Copying the spawn chance data is a little bit more expensive, but that's an easy one. Now we still have to do all the modifications to it, actually. We don't have to necessarily grab that here. Total chance weight minus old special chance plus new special chance. But now we do have to mind that that's a rand value in 0, 1. So this has to be times total chance in order to be properly scaled relative to the things we're doing here. Yeah, those are different colors. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised this wasn't a maple jackpot. Most of them, well, many of the maples look the same. So I may end up having to instrument the base code and figure out what's going on here. But we're not done yet. Off biome moving objects. I mean, they just get removed. Grid objects. So yeah, we're running out of places for errors to be here. Total chance weight. All right, if I greater than 0, so if we picked something, oh, well, there's your return ID. So they were being a little bit cavalier about that before. Oh, no, this is that checker, actually. So he actually fixed the but he fixed the jackpot chance first. Just a little ordering issue. No, we have to eliminate that as a possibility. Get our return ID. If picked biome equals second place dot biome, then we do that. Else, then we are changing, put empty tile there instead. Second place, make sure it's not a moving object. This is something I can't do right now. This is actually quite messy. All right, do we have any information? Do we have enough information to do? Well, I do have the object records. So biomes don't necessarily have this. They just have spawn chances. What would be a moving object? Well, I mean, any object might have the flags. Well, there's transitions timed, but that's not quite right. All right, you are not a spawnable object, though. Oh. Huh, so you don't have the icon here. All right, so a wolf is 418. Transitions away. Deadly distance. So if we do load up the objects, then we can get the real map chances. Move distance, deadly. I guess it's a timed move transition. Is a moving or a move transition. What does that look like here? And if... Right, so a -1 is an automatic timed transition. And... we are just looking to see if such a transition... And apparently you can only have one automatic timed... Well, yeah, I guess the one timer is going to go off first, then you change. Put empty tile there instead. So this would require me to load all of these object things for all of my biome objects. And the catch is that I need a comprehensive list of all of the objects so we don't double fetch them. Oh, we did get objects, but I don't need to load all objects. But then I have to wait for all of that to finish before I do this. Alright, so we do that. The indentation's getting a little bit crazy here. Although we do have to be able to set the pending once we have this information. And I could define the variable outside. So this would be a return. So I mean that's a trivial function, but it drops our indentation level. So fetch, then response, then, and we're not closured in that response area, so we can actually return this to just being response. Wait, fetch. For each. Okay, so this actually is slightly off indentation. So this has to match with, for each fetch, we have to do this. We have an if, we have that then, we have that function, which should really be back up here. So this needs to go in then? Okay, there's one required level there because we have to do that. And I need more water. I'll be back in a few minutes. Need to get more kindling for that. Alright, I'm gonna go run for... Oh, somebody's got a bow and arrow. I hope they're doing that for good reason. That's not a good reason. Where are you? That was not a good reason.
time he didn't get XP. He did, but not much. Because he didn't kill it. Then let's kill this thing.
Okay.
Do exactly as she says. Milton, oh my god. Oh my god. Wow, thank you so much, Milton. Oh my god. I'm like awestruck. What? Wow, guys, if you don't know Milton Peak, so I'm flabbergasted. So
Or let you there was the kids. We do it for the kids. You know. If you ever watch this VOD clip somebody, I challenge you. Live singing contest, you versus me. The voice of radio. Or old-timey radio. Wait. Or old-timey radio. See, I can't hear myself when I do this. Or old-timey radio. You see, it's cow.
Hey Nia, how's it going? Okay, perfect. No, baby! God damn it. I just can't keep a female character alive. What do I do?
Alright, welcome back. We need... And this is actually like a really obnoxious line. We need to know the list of all objects that we care about and whether or not we are pending fetches for them. So I guess one way to do this, well, one way is collect them all and then at the end do all of the queries for the files. The other way is to put some sort of placeholder in place when we make the request so that other things, so that as we go through each biome, we can tell whether it's been fetched or not. So I think in terms of detecting when we have fetched all objects, I want to do the big batch version, because otherwise you have the possibility, for some strange reason, that you fetch all of your currently outstanding object requests, but there are still more that are going to come because of a biome. And if you just do this kind of counter thing, you would not notice, or you wouldn't really know that that was happening. I mean, I guess you could have both counters counted down, but it just starts to get messy. So that means we need to have if it's an array, we have to do presence checks. Or do some sort of dedupe on it, which the syntactically easy way to do that is just to make it an object, which has sparse indexes. And the IDs here are strings. We're going to have a small set of objects here. I guess the other way to deal with this is that these are promises, and I always have so much trouble finding documentation for like browser promise documentation. Because oftentimes implementations have like a promise.all or a when or something like that. All, all settled, resolve or reject. Any of their promises is resolved. Or for any to be rejected. All promises to be resolved or for any to be rejected. They each describe the outcome of each promise. Reason the first promise that was rejected. So just to keep down the indentation here, and I still kind of wonder if I shouldn't just go back to Elm and use the flow there, although that still has to get to this kind of counting stuff. Or some kind of state to keep track of it. So then that resolves to the fetch, which do this. For each, so this has to be a map. So that's going to give us a array of promises. Well, yeah, it's a map. So this is a, well, return so the problem with this is it's going to require probably more interpretation. And I have to figure out where the heck my brackets are. So actually that, if we do this at this level, we can tack that onto here, but we actually have to figure out what we get out of this. Console.log arguments. Is this Mozilla only? Okay. Call E length. Oh, you have to return your promise. And that is just the straight up result, so that's fine. So, okay, so we do have to iterate over this. So that's just an ordered array. We actually do need to make sure that these go into the correct slot. Biomes. But we could arrange this to then return the promises for something like this. Okay, so I'm going to go through all of these. This bit is actually going to move down a little. Assign the biome. So each biome is going to give you a oh no, we have all of the objects. So we have all of them here. So as we go through, we still have to build up a unique index. Biomes or biome dot. Is it just biome dot objects? Biome dot objects. Objects, object.id, it will be a string. We really just need deduping. Yeah, because really we just need the object keys here. And we don't necessarily have to do this. Well, we'll have to do this somewhere. Biome.objects for each. That gives us... That sets this thing. I guess you could consider this kind of a reduce operation, but... Now that sets this in the loop over all the biomes. Then... objects dot map each ID in a similar manner to this. Response.json, that should give us the big old list of objects. Oop. took a little bit. There are 72 naturally occurring objects, apparently. Which is actually a useful thing to have for the possible coloration system. And this gives us a real map chance value. Which apparently defaults. I mean, I guess 1 works as just a. Wow, milkweed's a 2. As a general chance. Sure doesn't feel like a 2. Compared to like gooseberry bushes? I guess just because they disappear, you don't see a lot of them. Alright. So this is just an array. To be useful, I'm going to need this indexed. Or I could actually, I could go through and replace the biome objects in the biomes. That would largely fill my needs. Well, and really what I need is I need map chance and I need to know if it's a moving object. I guess I only need to know if it's a moving object. I could figure that out ahead of time. A wild gooseberry bush is craftable, huh? I wonder what that flag's for. So I guess it would be a transitions timed with a move on it. We said it was like 418 is the wolf. Transitions timed. Move 2, yeah. So really I just kind of need to annotate objects. So this is like an object list. I guess for a one-off thing, I could just search the object list. All right, biome dot objects dot for each we're gonna have a lot of objects here. Although searching every time will be kind of a pain in the butt. Object list dot if obj dot id equals spawnable dot id spawnable dot map chance equals obj dot map chance and spawnable.moving is I guess that's so it's kind of a reduce. We could just go obj.timed Spawnable dot moving timed transitions. Spawnable if trans dot move I'm assuming it's only present if it moves. All right, so now we have a real map chance and the total chance weight for real, which indentation is a pain, which makes me think I'm still got this structured wrong somehow. Biome objects for each, biomes for each. I could do that while I'm doing this, because every time we go through a object and set our map chance, we could increment the current biome. Biome dot total chance weight. Yeah. All right, does that even run? But I don't have my I'm done trigger condition. So this doesn't necessarily return anything. It could almost be another then. Biome is undefined. Maybe, did I end up closuring something here? Biomes. Oh, I probably got biomes. Yeah, okay. That changes things a little bit. Biome is undefined. Did we maybe have an error fetching an object that caused a rejection? Fetch. What is... So catch is... Well, I guess if it's adding the layer, that means it's trying to render it, which means it got added. But why am I not getting my biomes then? So I actually don't need this. It's got biome list. When we're done here, we should have a biomes. Array 7, array empty. What the heck? Oh. Where the heck was I getting ID from? Oh, because I was inside this closure. Now I'm pretty sure that this is a string. Which I've been kind of counting on elsewhere. Like to make object IDs match biome IDs. So that's one thing we lost out of rearranging that. No. Object.timed transition. So is that a typo? I guess it could actually just be not present. Let's biomes, objects. Oh, it's transitions timed for one. They do appear to be empty arrays, though. Well, that... Oh, my total map chance is totally messed up right now. Because I need to be using map chance, not spawn chance. Because that is going against total chance, which is that. Okay. We're still getting different colors for different trees here. I'm just curious how this is turning out. But this is being changed every time. Biome objects for each. Biome objects, total chance weight. What am I outputting here? Biome list, biome. Okay. So, I mean, that seems reasonable enough. And our colors are kind of back to sensible. We've still got a lot of purple in the jungle. I now do have a list of naturally occurring objects I might be able to use for different coloration. Although really I need to be able to distinguish similar objects. I think I have some sense that we're getting biome appropriate things already. So when I render the object layer, We are just doing this by total object count. HSV, so we want some smaller thing. So ultimately, we want to be in a 360 range. So 359. And anything relatively prime to that will work. Probably a larger number would be a little bit better. So we really spread out adjacent IDs. Oh wait, no, you're a 0, 1. So we would still have to do this as divide by 360. Okay, so there's no biome consistency now. But we can see that like these are all different objects, which is just completely wrong. It's like, well, the big hard rocks are sort of working, maybe. But then we have different big hard rocks out here. Yeah, my object selection is totally messed up. So I probably need to do some staged stuff. I guess I could work on grids. That's the last piece of it. Although, how hard is it going to be to get the information for that? Fixed total chance. Oh, haven't actually limited moving. That was the whole point of this. So pick biome, objects, return ID. Oh, I put this. I have a return ID. I don't actually need this in the biome list. I need the object. I do need the objects. Oh, wait, okay, so that's that objects list. So this also needs to be, well, this is just true. Well, I guess if I had an indexed objects list, I could just replace that. So you have reasonable indexing. Objects. I'm getting severely tempted to just turn everything into ints. Because I keep having to do that. But I would need, yeah, I do need objects.key of that intermediary thing. This is going to be a very sparse map. I mean, you could still have an integer as a key. No, it's all strings, isn't it? Or does it have to be primitive values? Okay, so that didn't even count as being a key. So yeah, we need to keep strings if we do objects. I might actually have... I don't know if I have the information to do a biome map. Because it really depends on... Well, I could get naturally occurring objects in object order. So I might be able to infer the biome map from that. All right, so the important thing is I can look up an object given its ID. The ID, I usually, well, I want an integer for doing values out of it. So most of the time we want that. Actually, the object list. Oh, yeah, okay. So object IDs are strings. Biome IDs are also strings. So using object.id here works fine. If I converted it all to integer up front, then everything would be compatible. Which would save me parsing on a case-by-case basis later. Maybe we just do this as... All right, biome list each. So this is... Well, this is an intermediary object. Doesn't matter as much. We do want the list of IDs. When we get to real objects, we don't actually do anything directly with the object list, do we? So this also needs to go into a object array, which actually is what gets rid of this search. Because we're going to want to also be able to look things up later. Object.id equals parseInt. Object.id. Objects. Object.id equals object. And one little thing we might be able to do. So the objects.json has an IDs. Wrapper dot object IDs dot length. Just so we aren't reallocating that. Now we will have an objects array where we can just say for each spawnable now this does assume the object actually exists, which we would expect from a consistent data set. We probably don't want to have this be objects, though. This might have to go back to strings, though, because this is... Or no, we have not processed this? Yes, yeah. BioMID, object. Object. Oh! I haven't processed the spawnable object IDs. So that everything matches up. Wrapper.objectIDs. Where's my cursor? Must have closed that. Just IDs, assuming it's object IDs, because it was originally objects JSON. All right, so what we really want out of this is that we can, in get base map, moving, we need to... Okay, so this is actually spawn chance, sure. This actually needs to do when we process the object list. I mean, I could even just have a is moving table, I guess. To save some lookups. Get base map. All right, I've picked by then if objects return ID, and actually we don't need to parse int this anymore. We did that above. Dot moving return 0. And that's really all we need. Okay, it doesn't seem to have drastically affected things. That's a lot of stuff. Fix total chance, remove off biome, moving objects. All right, let's get some placeholders in for grid. So wiggle is off. I don't need to worry about that right now. See if any of our grids apply. Now, we might not need this seed, because I think that was for the wiggle. Unfortunately, that's all threaded through. Okay, so that's just going to be remove that whole roller parameter. GP permitted biomes. Okay, so this depends on grid placeable objects. Do we have information on that? No, I am going to have to search. I guess we search this for the list of names for a grid placement. And that determines grid placements. And then we have to fetch that object. So it's no longer a linear process anymore. So I don't think we need the seed. Get biome index. And then we've got permitted biomes, so we have to look at that object. Does he even do that? That doesn't tell us the ID of natural spring. All right, so that is a 30-30. Well, I guess grid placement 40 is we can determine that ourselves. Map chance. Yeah, so we're gonna have to parse out grid placement ourselves. And at some point, I might want to do a more optimized, my own parsing of this. Oh, well, spawn chance rare. Okay, the object has spawn chances. Does object 3030 appear in individual biomes? Oh. I wonder how he calculated spawn chance for it then. Maybe it's based on the grid placement? Because we should not be including this in our spawnables. Because it cannot appear by itself. Oh, maybe that spawn chance was for when it wasn't grid placed. See if any of our grids apply. Grid placements push back. Special grid placement. Else, regular fractal placement, put it in the chance tables. Okay. So I also have to know about this to remove it from all my biome chance tables. Okay. And if it's the end, that might not affect... it does affect the total chances and moves everything around. All right, I'm going to take a short break. I'll be back in a minute to see if we can do something about that. So it doesn't really say like node starting up anywhere, but... Oh, no, wait. Well, Node Supervisor is a separate project that I'm using that auto restarts when things crash and stuff. Which is occasionally annoying because they sometimes get things that crash every time. Dip-a-doo.
Oh no.
Was it? Okay. Well, let's see what happens with this. Bye, baby. So... Okay, so you can empty water into it as well? So does it...
That's not very natural. But whatever. That's a big tree, Jesus. Put that in the back. That looks a little better. What? Why didn't that accept? Oh, shoot. Duplicated. That one. There you go.
Alright, welcome back. It looks like we need to remove our grid placement object. So we have to look through objects.json for any names that have grid placement. And really all I need is grid placement 40 there. At the moment I don't need, actually I don't need any other properties. I don't think. Eve primary lock. ID spacing. Wiggle scale. Oh, I need the permitted biomes. Which is in the object, but it's also going to be sort of indirectly in the biomes. So I guess, if I knew that object, then each biome could have its own grid placements. Okay, so it's just the grid objects. So this is where, if I prepare the data set myself, I might do a little bit better here. So when we get the object list, right now, we've got this pipeline going. Well, I do know when this much is all done, because we can add our layer that depends on this data. But I then have to fork into two processes. One that gets the biomes, which then get the objects. Well, I guess I don't need that. I mean, I don't need that object necessarily. I could get the spawn information. I don't need it yet. So we size our objects. We scan through. So what we're going to have like right now is like grid placement IDs. We're going to want the index here. And this is names. Actually, is that the case? Grid placement, yes. Then grid placement ID. Oh, we do need the name of this thing because the name has the spacing. ID. Is it I? No, it's not I. It is wrapper.ids sub I. Name equals wrapper dot. Speaking of which, so most of these aren't going to end up matching, so you don't actually need to be able to reference it that much. We're going to have to process the spacing count every time. How do we... parse int grid placement capture a digit plus and give me that thing. Natural spring, spacing 40, ID. IDs have generally been ints. Probably because I'm looking at the C code, but that is how I'm going to want to use them, I think. All right. So this happens synchronously before we do all the promise stuff. And this is going to be the kind of thing that we need at this level. Oh wait, grid placement's equal. Oops. Small correction there. So then when we get our biomes, let's see, how do we want to check this? Map grid placement hits the grid. Right, okay, so getting the biome index of right, because this doesn't respect density, so you then have to Oh. It will actually leave the spot. If it's the wrong biome, it will block any object appearing there. Well, no, actually, this is picked biome is just negative. That's like a error condition. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of stuff about it. I haven't actually been in there yet, so that'll be this afternoon's adventure. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been hearing. We're at the point where a few people can live, but they can't keep a lot of kids. And the end condition doesn't really account for that. It's when no one can live, not when, like, less people can live than want to play. Maybe there needs to be some kind of condition that if people, like, well, you'd have to redo the life server to be per server to say, well, if we're not running our lives here, then we'll sort of start a new colony over there. Oh, deliberately trying to trigger it. Gee. Yeah, the few people eking out, not necessarily matching the number of people to wanting to play, might be an issue, in which case you might have to, like, instance cells or something. Right, so people are trying to keep the fertiles down, which means that all the babies are getting funneled through fewer and fewer people. Jeez. Get element index. So permitted biomes is seeming like... Object biomes B. So yeah, this is where the biome index stuff gets weird. This looks like it's getting a biome index from a biome number. So that we can use the index directly. So the test we need to make here is our biome one of those biomes? And he's pushing that into a list. Get element index. I mean, it seems to work. Object num biomes, push back. Biome index. So is that looking up a value? Oh, get the index of the element with blah 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 blah. Which is the thing we can do. All right. Grid placements. So you would initially have none permitted. then when we got to each biome, where would we do a spawn chance? Oh, I don't deal with that chance at all anymore. We deal with map chance. I am trying to, ironically, I've been working on recreating the map generation so that I could generate map detail anywhere. So that's actually very expensive. Also very expensive is, so let's actually go out to some place no one has ever seen. And we can, rather slowly, but we can generate the biome map. I have some ideas about how I could optimize this, but I don't know if it's actually going to be useful right now. And that seems to be matching up. What doesn't seem to be matching up is the object spawns, because like these are all maple trees and we're getting different IDs here. So one of the things I'm working on is that I'm not doing anything with these, and I found out that the data I'm currently bootstrapping off of One Tech data. And their spawn chances include the springs, so we have to take that out and have it as a separate thing. So right now, we are going through here. So we actually have to do like biome.objects. Yeah. Biome.objects equals biome.objects, I think it's filter. That's the actual object if we've got it. So we actually would have fetched it by here, so that means we will have the spring. But to know if we want to do this stuff, we have to see if spawnable.id, well, this is also a list. We might want to be able to do an early return here. For if grid placements i.id equals spawnable.id. We want to return false. Well, we want to return false, and we want to say that grid placements sub I. I probably reuse this. Permitted biomes. Not particularly. At the moment, I have another keyboard. Actually, I like. Yeah, I could potentially think about that. I actually have another keyboard I like better, although it's probably not good for streaming because it's louder. So that is, I mean, they're standard keyboards in a sense. Let's see. So that is. See, this is the desk keyboard. No, the Unicomp. Yeah. So this is a pretty noisy spring keyboard. And then this one has light up keys, so I can use it at night. This is the deck keyboard. And I forget what the model is. Just deck keyboards. It's a model number. I don't know if it's a model name. So that I can actually, I often don't like to have lights on at night. and just because of the whole light and natural cycles thing, and then so that means I can have the light up keys to still see what I'm doing. All right, so permitted biomes. So we've got a biome object, which probably has a biome ID. Now, we're probably going to want to check biome indexes here, which is where that whole thing comes in. Yeah, so he's doing a lookup. So he's going through the object number of biomes it can spawn in. Looking up that biome ID. Well, we are going to have this object, but since we're processing it anyway. So this is where we do need to do that reverse lookup. Okay, so biome ID, so this would be biome map dot index of biome ID. So that will abort all of this stuff and remove it from the list of spawnable things. So biome.objects.filter. Console.log, grid placements. Okay, biome object. Oops. Oh, that was one of the name replacements. Is undefined. But that should have just been... Oh, it may have tried to do that, which means I didn't do this correctly. Okay, I apparently don't understand how filter works. Functions, methods. Is it filter? It's a filter. It returns bool. Biome objects filter. Oh, return false. Nothing is spawnable. All right, we do not want to see 3030 in here, so that seems to be fine. Our grid placement object has 4 permitted biomes. So that seems to be correct. This question is the index correct? So the one thing, well, we will want to cache the biome lookup here. Get base map. And there's still a tweaked base map too. Yeah, he's been on a few times. He's been alternately frustrated and very flippant. Okay. Well, yeah, I know he wanted to fix the Donkey Town spawns, which will at least reset the server, so we could just go ahead and reset the map. All right, we don't need the random seed because we're not wiggling. All right, this is going to be a very small number, but they're still calling this a lot. I'm sure there's going to be more work on stuff. I less than grid. Right, that's the keyword. Good placements I. We're not wiggling. If in X plus GP.phase, we don't have that other term to worry about. Oh, phase must be 0 right now? Zero, okay, yeah. You know what, he's hard coding a 0, so... GP dot spacing equals 0 and ENY dot GP, yeah, has not fixed the other spawn chances, so I'm going to have to dig into the code sometime. And instrument the base code to see at what point we are going wrong. Grid placements. If it's 0, do we need the second place biome here? No, maybe he's setting this up to be cached. No, but these are inside a block, so they're not going to be cached. Oh, because you probably have to pass... You gotta pass snow. Yeah. Alright, so we do not want to redo this. And we can take care of this. Early exit here. We have to handle that in either case. Well, no, when we do it. The website or the game? Because I know that he was taking the servers down. Or that he was talking about resetting the servers. The reflector might be on there. Nope, but there's definitely not a lot of people on right now. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, unfortunately, I would not be too terribly surprised if somebody tried to do a DDoS against the website because they were mad. We know people are certainly willing to grief in game. Alright, so that is that. We actually need to do a check there to see if if it has been picked. Where is grid? Grid. Picked biome, so we have to check if something went terribly wrong. Oh, actually, we're just gonna do a return here, so that doesn't matter. Never mind. Well, no, only if it's valid. We will carry on if not. So, pick biome. We need to bail if not. And then we have to see... So this is the biome index if gp dot permitted index of picked biome is also not equal to -1. Outgrid placement true. You must be using that for something else. And then we come down here. If we get to this point, if picked biome is still equal to -1, then update it. Because we could go through here, and then it's not in the permitted biome, and then we carry on. Technically, we only need to do that if this is the case, but it's going to kind of do both in most cases anyway. Oh, this one calculates second place. So if we calculate this at all, we need to capture that information for later. Okay, it's generating something here. And okay, that's Arctic. That's desert. Desert. I think mountains are allowed? Yeah. Okay, so that by itself is working. The rest of this stuff is still garbage. Grid placements. This is going to get to me one of my console logs. We're still dumping that stuff. Wait. Okay, I was looking at a rock. It looks a little bit like a spring. Handle grid placement. So unfortunately, instrumenting the base code and tracing the error might be more than I want to get into right now. Do I do anything? What was I calling? XX tweaked hash 2D. So I have to find the main function again. The other thing I was looking at would be like get xy random. XY fractal. I'm not really using this right now. Merging. I thought I had resolved this. Or did I abort? Oh, maybe I fixed it in built. But I didn't resolve this. Oh, I stashed my changes. That's right. So one added that, make file list. I actually would have sworn that we would have been part of that process. All right, so actually I've got a couple of things to sort out here. Yeah, okay, so I wish there were dates on these. Help overlay. Yeah, so maybe I didn't stash that and just threw it away. Or server debugging, world gen probably. This is unfortunately kind of a mess right now. Yeah, so I have to sort out the merge because I thought I fixed this. Apparently I didn't. And then I'd have to get in here and instrument get base map. Oh, and I still have to do the tweaked base map. That'll affect some things. To see where we are going wrong. I mean, the grid check shouldn't be it, although maybe it's affecting how we're looking at biomes. Density fractal seems pretty good, but I guess I have to check the actual values. The biomes seem to be holding up, but maybe my secondary biome isn't holding up. All of my natural object stuff might be weird because of how I'm getting it. Special chance could be messed up. And yeah, anywhere there's lots of room for anything from typos to misunderstandings to precision errors. So overall, narrowing, I mean, it could be something very simple, but narrowing that down on the whole could be a pretty involved process. And it's getting close to lunchtime, so that just seems like a convenient place to break. So that's it for now. Thanks for everybody who hung out and watched. We want this one. And everybody who hosted me. Alright, let's see, I don't see anybody I know playing One Life right now. This is about when I tend to be on. Plan is to, well, we're going to try to live in 1 hour One Life this afternoon. We'll see how far we get. I guess if I run out of lives, we could try another server. I'm not really set up with my private server right now. Or you go back to Astroneer. Anyway, I'm looking for... Let's see, not a whole lot of small streams doing code right now. Oh, and even that one's not too small. But since I'm doing procedural generation, if you're interested in that, Demian Sky is doing, he's actually doing, and I don't know how real it is, but it is presented as a sphere of a planet with lots of, with like tectonic plates and rivers and all kinds of really, really deep generation stuff. So if you're interested in that sort of world gen, that is a cool place to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye, and until next time.